Today's episode is sponsored by season 6 of You, Me, and Chisme. Nobody cares that it's season 6, doesn't really matter to anybody, but it matters to me. And
Yes,
I think that's important.
I agree.
I think it's important.
I
Um,
agree.
I don't know what episode count we're in,
Mm,
but I think it's a lot. It may even be 200, up close to 200. I
right.
actually have no idea. Um, but it is season 6.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Wow. Look at us.
Season 6. We're back.
We're back.
We're back. BACK. Back.
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
welcome to Me and Choose Me, your one source for Choose Me on the internet. Julie.
That's me.
Hello, hello, hello.
Hi, how are you?
It feels like it is the first day of the new season of The View. Um, they had a new set. We're on a new set. Um, what else happened? Whoopi came back from a summer vacation in Italy. Where
Ooh,
did you come back from, Julie?
I don't think I went anywhere.
Okay. You've been sitting in that chair since we last recorded?
It
Oh my goodness.
basically. What about you? Did you go anywhere fun?
No, I did. God, no. I went to work. I
So
went to
no.
work.
So really no.
I went to work. Julie, it is 8 in the morning. What are you doing today?
Oh, so many errands. I have to go get
Errands.
yeah, I have to go get my nails done. I have to go find a new charger for my Kindle. We're doing a lot. Gotta go to Target.
You can order it on Amazon.
I mean, I could, but you know what? Sometimes things that like mark like cheaper.
What kind
I
of chart? Sorry.
oh, I'm trying to get the one that a specific one, the one that has all three in one. The
Uh-huh.
Kindle charger, the other one, what's it called? The flat one, and then the iPod, iPhone one. So I'm trying to get, there's one that has all three. I know because my boss has it. That would be very helpful for me in my different electronics.
Where did your boss buy it?
At Marshall's.
At Marshall's.
Yeah. I'm sure they have it at Amazon,
Uh-huh.
but I am impatient and my Kindle is currently dead.
Uh,
So if we could get it today, that'd be ideal.
when did your Kindle die? How long has it been out?
Like 2 days ago.
Two
And yeah,
days.
I feel very stressed out about it. But yesterday I wasn't gonna sit down and read because I was running around doing stuff.
What were
But
you
today
doing yesterday?
I went to dinner with Angie,
Wow. I saw
more
on
errands.
Instagram.
Yeah.
Aaron's, who are you?
Well, we I got stuff to do before my Seattle trip.
You're going to Seattle.
You
That's
knew
right.
this.
I did for your birthday. Don't.
Yes. You you're the one that said it. Like it's the first time you're hearing this
Well,
is
I'm trying to add
information.
emotion to the people.
Oh, okay.
When do you leave for Seattle?
Uh, Thursday.
Thursday. Hold on.
Thursday.
I need to do the math here. Where's my calendar? You leave on Thursday, October
Yeah.
3rd. And what
Yeah.
does your flight leave early?
It does. It leaves at 9.
You know you're going to a concert the night before.
Yes, I do.
Mm,
Yes, I do.
wow. Wow.
Yeah. We're gonna rally. We're just gonna rally. And then I'm going to a concert that night.
Who are you going to go see?
Griff?
Griff.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yes. We talked
Yeah.
about Griff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Wow. Happy birthday to you.
Thank
Happy
you.
birthday to
We don't
you.
have the rights.
You need to buy the rights to the happy birthday song?
Yes.
Oh my God.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Are you excited for your birthday, Julie?
I am. I'm not as what's the word? Somber about it as I usually am. I'm usually like
Oh,
I get really sad when it comes to like the days coming up to my birthday. Has my family done anything for me? No. Is it the weekend before my birthday and my birthday's on a Tuesday? Yes.
uh-huh.
It's like they didn't learn their lesson last year.
Mm.
But that's okay. I'm gonna let them do what they're
You
gonna
like to
do.
have your birthday celebrated.
Yes, I do. But
Uh-huh.
I don't like to celebrate it.
Uh-huh.
I need other people to celebrate it for me.
What does that mean? Like,
Like plan a little dinner. I mean, not just random bitches, but like my family. I would like because what for their birthdays, I'm the one rallying the troops, picking a restaurant, making sure everyone's there. Um, So yeah, I mean, it's fine. I'm ready to be disappointed. That's gonna be fine. That's why I've been pampering myself up until my birthday. Bought myself some new shoes, booked a tattoo appointment, going to Seattle. And my mom was like, I bought some new, look at the shoes I just bought. And then she's like, oh, cute. I was like, for my birthday. And she's like, there's only so many of those you can say. And I'm like, I'll never run out.
I have a
I'll never run
question.
out.
I have
Tell
a
me.
question for you. When you're celebrating somebody else's birthday, let's say it was your mom's birthday, do you ask her what do you want to do? Or do you just
I,
plan something?
I do ask her, but I never actually do what she like because her ideas are very like, oh, we could just go to dinner. One time I took her to Catalina Island. This year I'm thinking of taking her to a flamenco show. They do flamenco shows here. I didn't.
Like in Southern California?
Yes, I didn't know
I'm
this was a
sure
thing.
I'm sure there's shows of everything here.
Had no idea. But I saw on my Instagram, it's called like El Cid Sunset or something. It's
Uh,
a dinner and flamenco show. My mom would love some shit like that. So yeah, I asked, like with my brother, I was like, what do you want to do? He wanted to go to steakhouse. We went to a steakhouse.
mhm.
So yeah, I asked to ensure
Uh-huh.
that we're getting near something that they would enjoy.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Did you know that at El Cid, they host Hot Dog Sunday every Sunday? And it
No.
is
I
it
might take her to
is
that instead.
I don't think you want to go. I don't think she would have a good time.
Oh God.
Um,
Interesting. Have you been to hot dog Sundays?
I have, yeah. I've been maybe two or three times, I think. Yeah.
Are you joking or are you being
No,
serious
I'm
right now?
serious. I'm serious. Yeah, it's like
Tell me more.
it's I mean, it's just a party, like a
Of hot
daytime party that goes into the night. It's a gay party.
of hot dogs.
Well, they call it hot dogs. I've never had a hot dog there, but I think they sell hot dogs.
You're
It's just a
blowing my
D
mind.
it's a DJ and drinking.
Interesting. Okay.
I I personally I know people who love it. I know people who hate it. I wouldn't necessarily, it's not my kind of, I don't think if I were to pick somewhere to go that would be my first option. I wouldn't, if I were invited, I wouldn't say no, but I wouldn't say,
Right.
oh, let's go to Hot Dog Sunday. But you know,
What's the
uh,
difference between hot dog Sunday and like uh, anything else with a bar or a like what's the different vibe? Or would you not pick to go to a bar drinking as a first option to do anything?
the gay men, yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
Mm, yeah.
Okay. Not a fan of gay men.
No, no,
Mm. Okay.
no.
You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Fair.
Yeah. It's also the particular type of gay men that are there. Yeah. I mean, I don't know.
Which are
Gay.
interesting. Interesting. You guys, okay, welcome back, everybody. But you guys see how difficult he is?
I just,
Give me something, Adrian.
um, how can I put it? Hmm.
I don't know.
That's right. I'm trying to think of the words. Um, I don't know. The vibe of the men are a lot more stuck up.
Okay,
It's a
fair.
particular type of man that goes there. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah. Well,
lovely.
Hot dog Sunday.
Well, now we've all learned that something that exists in the world that we had no idea about.
Yeah, yeah.
Interesting.
And every time I'm in there, I wonder how do they, because I think it's a restaurant. I was like, how, how do they fit? Oh, how do they fit the tables in here?
Interesting.
I can never figure out what the restaurant layout is at because half of it is outside and the DJ's inside. Um, hmm,
Okay.
anyways, yeah,
Noted.
they
I
give
shall
you a
think of hot
you
dog Sundays.
you take a cup when you come in and it's like top, bottom, verse, don't touch me. Yeah. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. Okay. Awesome. How are you, Adrian? How's the
I
new place? How was moving?
Yes, I've moved into a new apartment since we last were together. Um, the place is doing well.
Mm,
Surprisingly, I've been here a month and I have not fully unpacked.
love that.
Um, I still have boxes around. Uh,
Accurate.
I need to buy furniture. So if anybody would
Mm,
like to donate to my furniture fund, it is at DJ Adriatic on Venmo.
right.
Um, um, yeah, I've met I've met most of the neighbors who live in my little area. It's very hard to
Mm-hmm.
describe. I'm gonna describe it once. If you don't get it, don't try to understand it because most people don't understand it. The
Okay.
apartment, so there's a driveway
Okay.
and all the apartments face the driveway, right? So that's how you enter from the driveway, if you will. It's a long driveway. There's 15 apartments. And there's a pod, if you will, with
Mm-hmm.
4 apartments. And so when you walk in, there's a
Mm-hmm.
gated door, or in front, there's a gated door. And to
Mm-hmm.
access my apartment, you go through this gated door, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm the first one, and then right across from me, there's somebody else. And then immediately as you right in front of our door, there's a staircase that leads you to 2 apartments above the two of us. So there's 4 little apartments in our little area here. Um,
Mm.
you don't understand it, don't try. No, I can never describe it properly to anybody.
Okay.
Anyways, I've met the first people I met were the people who live diagonally up from me, so
Okay.
across and up. They're Guatemalan brother and sister. They're very nice.
Mm.
And then I met the girl. I actually just met the girl who lives above me yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
I had the day off, so I was sleeping in, and I was already awake, but I was in my bed on the
Mm-hmm.
phone as one does,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
I heard a knock and on my door. Could you hear the knock? You probably couldn't hear the knock on the
No.
mic. Um, I knocked on my desk. I hear a knock, and I'm like, oh my God, I have no clothes on. I need to find clothes to put on.
Oh, unfortunate.
So I'm like trying to find something to put on, and she knocks again, and I'm still trying to put clothes on, and then and I hear her walk up the stairs as she because I wasn't opening the door, and I finally open the door, and she's like, oh, and then she turns around and she's like, oh, it's not you, and she's like, I thought you were playing the really loud music. I'm like, no, not me. And then she introduces herself. She's like, if you know, hi, blah blah blah. If you ever need anything, blah blah blah. And the music, which I had already figured out, were the people up and across from me. So
Mm.
across from her. Um, and
But
the
she thought it
Guatem
was coming from under her?
I guess, yeah, I guess because she really felt it. I mean, I feel the music pretty loud too. The music's pretty loud. And we can hear everything. We can hear
Right.
everything here. I can hear anytime anybody opens the gate, anytime anybody opens the door, anytime
Oof.
anybody goes up the stairs, anytime somebody um does anything really, I can hear it.
Yeah.
And it's not horrible. It's
Right.
fine. I understand. But she thought it was me. Probably also because I like to have my window open and everybody has to pass my window, and sometimes I have some music playing, but my music is never loud. And then I always usually am wearing headphones, but sometimes she'll hear the Real Housewives of New York playing, or she'll hear The View playing. So she probably
Right.
thought that faggot is playing this music. It wasn't me. Um,
Yeah.
anyways, it was the Guatemalan brother and sister. I think it's the brother who was playing the music. Anyways,
Hmm.
I had met her for the first time a month in. She one time she almost ran me over, but whatever.
Oh my
Um,
God.
well, because you have to drive down the driveway to park your car in the back. Um, and you can't fit a body and a car. You can only fit the body.
Yeah.
Anyways, and then so I haven't met the person who lives across from me
Okay.
officially.
Okay.
The second day that I was moving in, I had movers, they were moving in big furniture. And um and he comes out. It's a man who lives in there. And he came out with two of his girlfriends. It looks like a young guy in his 20s.
Mm.
Um I'm going to assume that he is of the homosexual, excuse me, of the homosexual team,
Okay.
but I don't know him, so I could be wrong. Just in case he listens,
Right.
he sues me for defamation of character. I could be wrong. Um,
Okay.
and so I said, I'm standing outside in the driveway with my things while the movers are moving them into my apartment, and I see them come out of the area that we live in, and I like, hi. I want to introduce myself. I want them to know who I am. I want to know who they are. And he does not even look at me. And one of the girls is like, she's the one who has to talk for him. And she's like, "Hi." And I'm like, "Hey, I'm just moving in, blah blah blah. My name's Adrian." Like a little dumbass. And then she's like, "Hi." And I'm like, "Oh, where do you guys live?" Because I knew it was across from me. They're like, "Oh, across from you." I'm like, "Oh, okay." And I like wanted to have like a little conversation, but they were not having it. And and so that was my interaction with it. And then I'm standing in my apartment. The door is open. Okay. And at this point, I don't really know who lives in there, but the just a couple minutes later, I'm standing in my apartment, my door's open, and then somebody opens the door to that apartment. And I'm like, another person. And it is an Asian man, who was very lovely. And we did chat. And he's like, "Oh yeah, I don't really live here, but I'm here a lot. I live in the South Bay, and like all of our friends from college, blah 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 blah." These people look like children, by the way. They look like
Hmm.
children. And so he tells me about who the person is and blah 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 blah. And so I had noticed on the very first day that I was here, where I got my keys and I was trying to unlock the door to my
Hmm.
apartment, somebody in that apartment right across from me immediately opened and closed the door as if they were scared and they were looking for something. And I'm like, "Oh, okay." But I only got the slightest glimpse of who that person was. I'm pretty sure it was the friend who who spoke to me,
Mm.
and not the actual person who actually lives there. Anyways, so then about 2 weeks ago, I had a really weird work schedule. We had a big event, and I was working late nights. So I was going in at like 2 and leaving at 1 a.m. And and one of the days, I think it was the first day that I had this schedule, I had eaten lunch, I was watching The Real Housewives of New York. I had like let the TV turn off because this episode ended, and I was just on my bed on my phone. I was dozing in and out of sleep, but I had never fully fallen asleep. And then I'm like, okay, I need to start getting ready for work. So I'm in the bathroom and I'm like brushing my teeth, doing whatever I need to do. And I hear another knock. Pop, 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 pop. And I knew it wasn't at my door, but it was very
Hmm.
close. So it had to be one of the apartments in my little area, and they're like, Los Angeles Police Department, and I'm like, oh no,
Oh no.
oh no. I was like, I'm 2 weeks in, and then so then I run over to the peephole in my
Obviously.
at my door, and yes, it's right across from me, and the guy is saying what I can make out is that he's saying my window's open, by the way. He's saying that somebody was trying to break into his apartment and that he was hiding, there were like 3 4 cops, but nobody, I mean, at that point there was nobody was around anymore, and I'm like, oh, okay. So I was gonna knock on his door and be like, hi, are you okay? Like, blah, 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 blah. Like, I'm
Mm-hmm.
going to work, but I work late, just FYI. But I didn't do that. And then that must have been on a Thursday. And then I literally worked nights up until the next Monday. And so then on Monday I'm here, and I get awoken from like maintenance work happening, and they're working on the door to the apartment across from me, and his peephole had been covered. I don't know how or why or what, but it had been covered. I think he might have just moved in recently as well. Um, and so they were uncovering his people. They were doing some kind of work. And then also noticed that he had installed a ring camera. So now this man has a perfect view of me anytime I walk out of my door and into my
Mm-hmm.
apartment, if my door's ever open. Um, it's just literally right in my face. Like the distance between my door and his door is like the distance between me and this computer. And um, so yeah, so now he has a ring camera. But I heard him on the phone yesterday talking to his mom, and um and he was like telling her like, oh yeah, you, or I don't know if it's his mom, but some elderly woman who speaks Spanish. He was like, yeah, um he said something about the building is shit or whatever, um but uh I have furniture now and I want you to come and see and visit and blah 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 blah. Anyways, I was gonna be like, you want to talk about a shitty building? Let me go show you where I used to live. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but anyways, yeah. So far so good. I
Is it? Is
don't
it
know.
so far so
I don't know. I don't know. Yeah. So, I feel fine. I feel safe, by the way. I
good?
feel,
Okay.
um, yeah. But if ever I don't answer, come a looking.
Adrian, bad
What?
juju, bad juju, bad
No, it's
juju.
fine. It's fine. It's fine. I mean, what does that even? My instinct, if somebody was trying to break into my apartment, trying to open my door, which, by the way, here's the thing, I didn't hear anything. Usually you can hear everything, right? And
Right.
so that day I didn't hear anything. I didn't hear anybody trying to like unlock, because I can hear when somebody's trying to unlock their door with their keys.
Mm,
Hence why the person, when I first tried to unlock my door with my keys, when I first got my keys, immediately opened and closed the door. They thought that somebody was probably trying to get into that apartment, but it was just
right.
me. And so you can hear everything. And I didn't hear anybody like trying to break in.
Right.
And my instinct, now granted, everybody has different instincts when somebody is trying to break into their apartment, but
Yeah.
I would have like knocked on the door, been like bang, 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 like try to scare them to run away. Anyways, um,
You
yeah.
should get a ring camera.
Well, he has one.
Okay, you should get one.
I mean, I guess, yeah. Yeah. I'm not worried. I'm not particularly worried.
I've seen so many true crime stories that start like this.
Yeah. Well,
Adrian,
what what do you want me to do?
damn.
Yeah.
I wonder
But
if he's had people trying to or like fuck with his doors so many times that that's why he was like on edge when you were opening yours.
well, it's a different person. The person who opened the door,
But if
he
that guy's there all the time, maybe they both experienced it, you
he's
know?
not. He came back today for the first time, or he came back last night for the first time because I could hear his voice. I know everything that's
Interesting.
happening in here.
Apparently you do. I love
Yeah.
that. I love that. Guys, we're gonna get new Chisme every week now, thanks to that building.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
I love it.
But yeah. But so far so good. Yeah, I have to buy a new TV because you can see this TV back here. It's fine, but it kind of glitches when I turn it on. And
Oh,
then
I've been there.
I need to buy more furniture for storage, more storage things, but I'm really bad at like deciding to pick something because I'm like, what if it's not the best? And then I've just wasted my money.
Mm-hmm.
I've just bought a tape measure so I can tape things out. It just arrived yesterday. Now I can actually see if I can fit things that I want to buy. So, but
Mm.
also, yeah, if you want to send a donation over, tax deductible.
Noted.
Yeah.
Noted. We will all consider that, right, everyone?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. Well, I'm glad you're thriving and you like your new place.
Yeah, I sometimes I'm like, it's just me.
Just you.
It's just me.
How's that going?
Yeah. I think it's fine.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, it
Yeah.
has only been a month. Give it a minute.
Yeah.
Get
Yeah.
used to it
Yeah.
a little bit.
Sometimes I'm
But
like, just me, just me. And then sometimes I'm also, oh, this is it. Like it's just I can see the whole thing from one
I love
spot.
that though. I love
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Interesting. How have you, I'm assuming, of course, but you and Jaime still talking, you and Ken, everything's good from afar.
Like we're in a fight or something.
I mean, no, but sometimes when you don't see each other every day, it's like you get used to not seeing each other every day, not
I
talking every day.
Yeah, we've seen each other regularly. Everyone is very busy with work.
Yeah,
But yes, we've seen each other multiple times. Yes.
very cute.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yes.
Well, look
Yeah,
at
yeah.
you.
Yeah.
You did
Yeah.
it.
I don't know how, but here I am.
But you did it, and that's
A-
awesome.
And then yesterday I went to go get my hair cut because I prefer convenience over anything. And so I went to go
Yeah.
get my hair cut around at a place around the corner. There's literally three barber shops around the corner from me. Four if you go in in the opposite direction. Um and so I went to one and I went in and I walk in and they're like, "Oh, you have a 4 o'clock, right?" And men, by the way, these are men.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, nasty men, I'm sure, but men.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're like, "Oh, you have a 4 o'clock?" I was like, "Yeah." And then they point to the old man, and I'm like, "Fuck, not the old man, not the old man."
The fucking old man. Mm-hmm.
I show him a picture of my hair. I show him
Mm-hmm.
a picture of
On your
me
head.
on my head, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, "This is what I want." And he's like, "Oh, okay." And that's not what he gives me. I think the haircut is perfectly fine. I used to get haircuts like this. It's fine. It'll grow back in 2 weeks, but it's
Yeah.
too
Yeah.
short and it's shorter than what I wanted.
Mm-hmm.
So I won't be going back.
Right.
And here's the thing, you might wonder, well, why did you have to go to a new place? You only moved 2.5 miles away from your old place, which also had where I got my haircut around the corner from that apartment.
Mm.
Well, that young lady was never consistent with her haircuts, and I don't think she was the best. And so I wanted something new. Anyways, now I have to find some man around the corner here. The haircut is
Right.
fine, by the way. I don't think it's horrible. It's not what I wanted,
Sure. And that's fair.
and so.
Yeah.
Here I am.
Here you are. Still looking very handsome, but just not what you wanted.
It's not what I wanted.
Yeah.
It's not what I
Yeah.
wanted. But
Understood.
whatever. 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 Well, say
Uh,
la vie, right,
yeah.
Julie?
Totally.
Say la vie. Um, anyways. How are you? Did you anything interesting happen to you? Nothing. Not one goddamn thing.
I don't think so.
Okay.
Um, No, I mean I've been very bit work. Let me tell you something
Work.
about work.
Uh-huh.
It's been kicking my ass. They said,
Mm.
we heard you like to watch Netflix. How about this? We're not gonna let you watch Netflix ever again until you die. Yeah,
Wait,
work
at
has been,
work?
yeah, yeah, yeah. I
That's
used to have a very easy job where I was watching Netflix and like fucking around and like chatting about movies, and now they're like, we're gonna give you no time to talk about anything but
Wait,
work.
you used to watch Netflix while you were at work,
I mean, when I worked from home, yeah. The
but
fuck else were you gonna do?
not in the
No, not in the
office.
office, no. But in the
Uh-huh.
office, I fucked around and talked to people all day.
Uh-huh.
You know
Uh-huh.
what I mean?
Uh-huh.
Managers, by the way, so I can't be judged. They were all
Uh-huh.
managers who were talking to me.
Uh-huh.
Um, and now in this place, we're working
Mm.
every day. Every
Mm-hmm.
day I get in there and I work from the moment I clock in. I'm working overtime every day. Who,
Wow.
who, who has the right to do that to me? It actually hasn't been horrible. I mean, I like being busy. The other place, I felt like it was, what's the word? Like it took so much effort to go into the office every day, even though it was literally two streetlights away from me, because I wasn't using my brain at all. Like I would go in, do the same thing every day, talk to my people, go home. Like it was very much very easy work. Very
Mm-hmm.
easy work. And so every day I woke up like this is the worst. Like going into work is the worst thing that's happening to me. But it wasn't because it's so easy, but it just felt like exhausting to get up to go do this mundane shit every single day. And now here, I have to wake up earlier, and yet I get up out of bed super quick. I don't have a problem going into the office every day. But where before I was like trying to, what can I think of to not go in the office today? Like I just did not like going. It was just mundane work that wasn't, I wasn't utilizing my brain, but at all. So,
Mm.
and here, I'm utilizing everything. So, I mean, it's fun. It's different. It's exciting. I really like my team. But yeah, it's kicking my ass right now. There was two Adam. I'm telling you, my life is a series of doubles because again, the second admin has left. Again, I have double the work. Um,
Why are they leaving?
well, this one just her boss was the another person, not my boss, and she didn't like that boss. They didn't get along. I've never had an issue with her. But she would tell me all these things about her, and I'm like, I'm not getting that vibe, girly. But again, sometimes people are different when you work directly under them. Um, And then she was like one day out of the blue. She's like, my husband and I are moving to Florida. I was like, okay. So she left and left me with all of her duties. And I
Wow.
mean, they're hiring someone, but how quickly will they do that? I mean, at these companies, they take forever to
Yeah.
hire people.
If you need a job, hit up Julie, right?
If you're an admin with a security background, you don't actually need a security background, but if you're an admin and you need a job in the middle of Los Angeles and Orange County, then I can help you get that job.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a lot, but we're thriving.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. They said over time, Julie is going
Yeah.
on a trip.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, again, to be fair, my boss is like amazing. The other day she had a conversation with me. And I told her, I was like, I'm a little nervy that I'm getting all these duties and I don't want something to fall through the cracks. Like, I'm really anxious about that. I'm in charge of time cards now, and that makes me very anxious because you're fucking with people's money. You know what I mean?
But they fill out their own time cards, right?
Yeah, but you have to, well, yeah, the employees do and the managers have to sign off on them. Our managers, I don't know what's in the water over there, but like they're not reviewing them the way they need to. So every Monday there's tons of errors on them of hours and da. I just get nervous. I'm not gonna catch an error. Someone's not gonna get, but like I'm messing with people's money. It stresses me out. And I told her that. I'm like, I'm nervous about this. All the other duties, I mean, it's a lot, but like I'll take it. But this particular one, I'm getting very anxious about.
That's their
And
fault.
so, and she's like, you kind of have to, she's like, you know what? I know that you're really good at everything that, and I told her, like, I'm nervous that I'm gonna drop the ball or make a mistake somewhere. And then she's like, you know, you kind of just have to let go of that idea and realize you're gonna make a mistake. And I'm like,
Yeah.
but I don't want to. And she's like, you kind of just have to accept it. And when you do, we'll deal with it. No big deal. Like,
Who is this? I love that person.
yeah, I know. She's one of the directors. She's my director. She's amazing. And she's like, you kind of just have to let go of the idea that you're not, and we'll just deal with it when you do. And that's you're not going to kick yourself over it because we, as the leadership team, are aware that we're putting a lot on your plate. So it would be ridiculous of us to now hold you accountable for these extremely high standards that are absolutely unattainable. And we know that we're putting a lot on your plate and we're asking a lot of you. So like don't get anxious about because you know we've talked, I mean we've gotten really close and we I tell her about my anxiety and da, 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 and she's like, don't get anxious about the idea that you're gonna make a mistake. Kind of just be like, all right, I'm gonna make a mistake and then I'll go to my boss and I'll let her know and we will fix it or deal with it the way we need to and then that'll be that. And I'm
I
like,
love making a mistake. I'm the
do
first
you?
one. Oh my God. I'm the first one to go into my boss's office and be like, ugh, I did this. What are we gonna do? And then we
I mean,
both
I
laugh
am
about it.
the first one to I mean, yeah, I totally agree that owning up to it and being like, okay, let's solve is the way to go immediately. Like I'm not one to try to cover up a mistake that I made, but I will kick myself over that mistake for at least the rest of the day.
You want to know that what I hate nothing I hate nothing more than
Uh,
somebody who tries to cover a mistake that they made.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
particularly um if like I have to follow up on an email, like, and by the way, I miss things all the time, by the way. But like I'll be
yeah,
like, oh, just following up on this or whatever if I have a question. And
yeah,
they're like, oh, so this happened. I was like, I don't care. And also you're lying to me. Just give me the answer. Just say you
yeah,
forgot.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Because why are you trying to be somebody who you're not?
Right,
Just be
right.
yourself. Just tell me that you forgot to do something and I'll
Yeah,
respect you a lot more. But when you come up
yeah.
with some fucking little sob story, you dumb little bitch, ugh, so annoying. Did you hear Maggie Smith died? It's so sad. It's so sad.
Yeah,
Um, I love Maggie Smith, but you want to know what is so? I just saw this when I was getting ready today. No disrespect to anybody,
of course not.
but why do people gather outside of the castle at Universal Studios at Hogwarts,
I couldn't tell you how to
and
say that. Uh-huh.
raise their Harry Potter wands? And
You leave those nerds
I,
alone. You leave those nerds alone. They did it for that other guy's death too. You leave those little nerds alone.
oh
They
my
are
God.
grieving. Those stories mean something to them. To each their own. Adrian.
But to pay a ticket to go inside Universal Studios to do that, it
Let
just
us all
seems
be
like a,
frank. They're probably they would have probably paid the ticket anyway.
I mean, it just is it's, listen, to each their own.
And I highly doubt that they're paying a ticket just to go do that. They're probably making a day out of it.
I mean, I'm sure I hope so, but like,
You little leave the little nerds alone. They're not bothering nobody. They're going through their grieving process
why aren't they at work? That's what I want to know.
because
People want
they're
to talk about there's no jobs. Talk about people just don't go to work.
yeah. Were you at work yesterday?
No, but I took the day off
Okay.
because I
Well,
maxed out on my vacation and I had no choice but to
interesting.
take days off. But guess what? Guess
Interesting.
where I'm going tomorrow
Where?
to work?
On the Lord's Day?
Yeah, and I'm working until 10 p.m. And then guess where I'm going Monday? Also to work, where I'm working till 3 a.m. So how about those nerds come talk to me? Okay. How about you guys get to work? How about Maggie Smith wanted to go to work, but she can't because she's dead?
Oh my
Okay.
God, Adrian.
What? The woman loved to work. She loved to work, and good for her. I saw this clip of an interview with her on the Graham Norton show that was so funny. And Graham Norton was basically talking about how she's a dame, and she's like, but when I work, I'm not the dame. I'm not Dame Maggie Smith. I'm just Maggie Smith because you can't use it professionally. And she said, unless you're you know, Sir Ben Kingsley. Because he uses the way she delivered it was so much funnier because he uses it professionally, even though you're not supposed to. But it was so fun. She's so funny. Ugh.
She was a funny lady. And I want to make it clear that I'm not aligned in any of the opinions that Adrian just shared prior to this conversation. His thoughts are his own. They are not my thoughts. I'm over here. I respect the nerds. Okay, I respect you. You go through your little grieving process and all more power to you and your little wand.
Well, what about the people who love Downton Abbey or Sister Act or the First
Okay.
Wives Club? Okay, they're
Okay.
not going to the Downton Abbey castle, whatever it is. I did you ever
Okay.
watch Downton Abbey?
Yes, I did. Downton Abbey is great, but we're not going to be silly here and say, look, even I, a non-nerd, know the impact of Harry Potter and Downton Abbey, Sister Wives. No, what is it? Sister Act or the First Wives Club do not hold a candle to the power of
Sister
Harry
Wives.
Potter.
Oh,
They don't. They
I
don't. They
you've not.
don't.
I don't think
In
you've ever
your
met
life
a
and in
Sister Act fan.
in your life and in my life, yes, 1000%. Sister Act is revered. In my mother's brain, Sister Act is one of the greatest movies in American cinema, by the
No,
way.
yeah, I
She
get it.
loves it. But Harry Potter is in a whole nother league, and we all know that.
I get it. You know, Maggie Smith said that she could live a normal life up until she started doing Downton Abbey, and that Downton Abbey and TV like made her famous, where she couldn't
Yeah,
just go outside.
I believe it. Downton Abbey was wild.
I do also think that it probably had to do with a lot of the films that made her famous were a long time ago, and you know,
Yeah,
people just don't recognize her anymore. Although if I saw Dame Maggie Smith on the street, I would know
right.
exactly who she is. Um,
And did you know
but
that for the
as my neighbor
first
upstairs called me a faggot earlier, you know, there you go. So that's how I
what?
know because I could point out Dame Maggie Smith.
Oh, I get it.
Get
We're
with it,
there.
Julie.
I'm so sorry. You're living in a crazy building. I don't know what they're doing in there. Um,
Oh,
I
the
for the
neighbor upstairs
first
also has a cat, by the way, and it must
that
be a
tells
boy
me all I
cat.
need to know.
I don't know anything about cats, but it must be a boy cat because that motherfucker runs from one end of the apartment to the other as if there is a marathon going on. I don't know
Right.
what it's running away from or what it's running towards, but my God.
What if she has mice? I'm so sorry.
What? Excuse me.
I was just thinking of a cat chasing a mouse. And I'm actually so sorry I did that to you.
You're
But it was the
disgusting.
first.
You
I'm
are
so sorry.
disgusting.
I'm sorry. It's the
How
first
about
thought
the
that
mouse
came in my
behind you?
Oh, I'm sorry. It's the first thought that came in my brain. I'm
There's no
sorry.
mice in
No,
my apartment.
no, there's not. There's not. In LA? No, not LA.
No. Is there was there a mouse in your apartment?
No, but there has been in places that I've lived. That's why I moved
Okay.
out of them.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, but
Okay.
not in yours. Not in
No.
yours. No.
No, there isn't. There is not. There are no creatures in here.
No.
I'm telling you, there are not.
I'm, I'm agreeing with you.
Hmm.
Anyway, what I was trying to say is for the first three seasons of back to the important stuff. For the first three seasons of Downton Abbey, you know, I used to call it Downtown Abbey.
Oh my God.
I did.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, for the first three seasons. And I should have known because when I first looked it up, when some people were talking about it, and I was like, let me go see this little white people show. I looked it up and I kept typing in downtown, and I was like, it's not popping up. And then it popped up with down, and I never put two and two together until a couple years later.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say until today.
Until this very moment. No,
Yeah.
until a couple years later.
Mm.
Yeah.
James Earl Jones also died. Did you
He
hear that?
did. He
That's
did. He
sad.
did. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm.
Yeah. All right.
Anyways, um, uh, did you go watch anything good while you were gone? Did you go to any concerts? Did you go to
Oh,
any?
no concerts. I have gone to see so many things. I saw, oh, you guys, The Substance
Which one is that one?
with Demi Moore.
Oh, uh-huh.
Demi Moore. How do you say it? Demi Moore?
Demi
I
Moore.
don't know.
I
Anyway, with
I think you
her
said it right the first time.
and with Margaret Qualley, the girl that
Uh-huh.
married Jack Antonoff. She's been in like the X movies. I mean, she's great. She's such a fucking little weirdo. She was in Poor Things and Kinds of Kindness. Um, The Substance is about this Hollywood actress who is old, Demi, who is older, and her star is fading. You know what I mean? Like she's getting to that age where people are like we're looking for the next hottest thing. We don't really want you no more. And so she starts like really feeling shitty about herself. And then she finds out that there's this substance that you can take where essentially you could live out half of your 7 days as yourself, the next 7 days as a younger version of yourself. But the way that this happens is like now there's two versions of you. There's the regular you, and there's this new version of you that births out of you through your body. If you've ever felt like, oh man, I wish I could see a movie with a lot of body gore, I have just a thing for you. It's called The Substance. It's a very interesting movie. It talks a lot about, there's a chilling scene, and it has nothing to do with the body gore, of Demi trying to get ready for a date. And like she goes, gets ready, she likes it. Then she goes back, looks at herself in the mirror, changes her eyeshadow. And she's like, okay, goes back, comes back, changes her lipstick. Like, and it's like the music and the anxiety of it, and Demi's acting is phenomenal in it. That I was like, every single woman in this planet Earth has been there, has been in this moment of like, nothing about me feels right and I feel disgusting. And then she ends up like just like rubbing her makeup off and like not going because she's like, I look disgusting. She doesn't, obviously, but it made me a little bit sick to my stomach. I went and saw it by myself, walking out of the theater with another older white gentleman that also went to go see it by himself. We're walking out together, and he's like, "What the fuck was that?" I was like, I was like, "Yeah." Yeah, he's like, it lost me. I was there and then it lost me. The last 15 minutes are a little extreme in terms of like body gore and blood, and it was a lot. Um, but yeah, it was really, really good. If you want to see like a quirky little weirdo movie, go
Who
watch The
made the
Substance.
film?
I don't remember the director's name. I don't think I've seen anything else from her. Um, yeah, I don't remember the director's name, but it was good. You know, you're either gonna love it or you're gonna absolutely despise it because there was a lot of like disgusting blood and cutting bodies open, and yeah, pus, a lot of nasty stuff. But it was good.
I probably won't watch that. Oh.
All right, fair.
I have a bone to pick with someone,
Tell me.
and their name is Spectrum.
Oof.
Um, I went so moved from the old apartment to the new apartment, so I had to get new
Right.
internet set up.
Right.
So I call Spectrum and
Okay.
I'm like, "Hey, I still need the internet at my old apartment for a couple more weeks, because Jaime and Ken are still there. But I need to set up my new internet at my new apartment." She graciously sets up an appointment for me, blah, 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 blah. We do the whole thing. She asked me if I want mobile service. I said, no mobile service for me. Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm.
She asked me if I want cable. I said, no, I don't want cable. I don't know if they call it cable nowadays, but whatever.
Yeah.
And so a couple days later, I go to the Spectrum store and
Mm-hmm.
I wait. Why they give you an appointment time, I don't know because
You were waiting.
the it doesn't
Yeah.
seem to work. Um, anyways, I go up to the man and he asks for my phone. He's like, I need your phone to set up the internet. Like the blah 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 blah. I'm like, okay. So he takes my phone and he starts doing all kinds of things. I should have known. And I did think I was like, this is weird. Why do you need my phone? And so he takes my phone and he does what he needs to do. He asks me, "Do you, want a mobile service cuz Spectrum provides cell phone service?" And I said, "No. I am on a family plan on Verizon and I'm entrenched in it. I'm not trying to
Mm-hmm.
leave." And he's like, okay, whatever, blah, 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 blah. Some man in the middle of me coming, talking to the employee there, some customer comes in and is yelling at the top of his lungs at this person that is helping me and is like, you blah, 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 you blah, blah, blah. And I was like, this man is crazy. Chill the fuck out, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, this week, I'm like reorganizing my phone, right? Like all the
Mm-hmm.
apps and all that shit. And I'm like, oh yeah, the man had downloaded the Spectrum app onto my phone. So I open it because I hadn't opened the Spectrum app before, and I notice that I have a phone line on Spectrum. I have a full-on phone number. And I had noticed earlier because I had told Christian, I was like, there's like a Spectrum thing showing up on my phone. It's very weird. And so then I I was like, I didn't sign up for a fucking phone line.
Mm-hmm.
So I call Spectrum and I'm like, this man set up a phone line on my phone
Mm-hmm.
without me knowing and without me saying that that's what I wanted.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't get charged. He's like, well, okay, he's like, just so you know, you didn't get charged for anything. You have a free mobile line for a year. And I'm like, I didn't ask for one, by the
Mm-hmm.
way. I didn't ask for a Spectrum phone number. I didn't ask for um anything. I didn't ask for a promo. And I was like, and what was going to happen after the year was over? You were going to start charging me? I told him that I was very disappointed
Right.
and disgusted that this happened.
And what did he say to that?
He said, I've made a note of it.
I
No,
love him.
the man that I talked to on the phone was very nice, but uh, excuse you.
Yeah.
And now I'm gonna go back and be like that other crazy customer that went in yelling.
Yeah.
He's like, we can track who helped you, and so we will let them know. But like, how are you just gonna
Yep.
add a Spectrum phone line onto
Yeah,
my
it's wild.
phone?
Yeah.
Ugh. And I thought
I'm
he
so
was hot
sorry.
too. He is not hot.
Oh,
You know what? I did notice when he stood up from his chair that he did not look as hot as he did when he was sitting down. And so,
well, yeah.
ew.
Yeah. I
Anyways,
agree.
fuck Spectrum.
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Is that your helmet back there to when you are rollerblading?
It's my nieces.
Oh, it's your niece's.
Yeah.
Okay. Okie dokie. Okay, well, is there anything else you want to get off your chest, Julie?
I don't think so.
No? Okay.
No.
Well, it's time for what everyone in America has been waiting for a month. It's time for the pop culture pop up. First up on the pop culture pop up, Lady Gaga has released a new album.
Yeah,
The album is called Harley Quinn. Is that what it is, Julie?
it is. It is.
it's an accompaniment album to the Joker, the film that she's
Yeah.
in. Um, yeah, Harley Quinn. Okay, you listen to it. I listen to it.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
I loved it when it was announced. I said a theme album. We love to see it. I was very excited. I'll admit that my expectations were completely different than what we got. I was thinking innovative, and we got covers, and that feels so boring to me. I'm so sorry. It's not even the jazzy that I don't like. I enjoy Lady Gaga's voice and all of the music genres that she's chosen to experiment with. I enjoy her jazz stuff. I don't think that it's boring. I think the idea is boring. I was hoping she would have chosen modern music and put it to jazz. I thought that's what she was going to do. I was like modern songs that would fit Joker and Harley Quinn and put it to a jazzier sound. I thought that's what we were going to get. I was very excited for that. I enjoy listening to good artists like Lady Gaga, Kelly Clarkson, I do enjoy a cover when there's like a new take to it, a new angle to it. These songs sound very much like every other version that you've heard of these songs in Lady Gaga's voice, which is fun. I mean, I enjoyed listening to it, but was it as exciting as I thought it was going to be? No, because it didn't even give me Harley Quinn vibes. So
Um, I never saw the first Joker,
neither did I.
and I've never seen the Harley Quinn movies with Margot
Oh, I
Robbie.
have. I have. Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen anything Harley Quinn.
Interesting.
So I really didn't know what to expect.
Yeah.
Um, I thought it was fine.
Yeah.
I'm curious to know how these songs fit into the movie.
I think I think where it overlaps is maybe the jazzy showcase of it, you know? Like the movie seems to be that like jazzy.
Is it a
I don't know what else.
jukebox musical, the
I
movie?
think it is. I think it is.
Jukebox musical where where they sing contemporary songs.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm.
So it
Um,
seems to be, but I wish she would have been a little bit more innovative with it, which is disappointed because Lady Gaga as an artist is innovative and she is fun. I do think she falls into I'm gonna say it, the mundane of the jazz genre that it can often be. Because I think jazz hasn't evolved much since the beginning. So you kind of get a little bit of the same if you're listening to it. I mean, I'm sure there's artists, right? Like in every genre that are being innovative and are being fun, but in essence, as the mainstream idea of jazz, it hasn't been as innovative as a genre. And I think she fell into that trope of the same shit, different day.
Interesting. I think jazz is innovative there. I just think people continue like the traditional jazz, I think, is timeless, so a lot of people still make music like that, maybe.
Yeah,
I will say, I will say, I love a Saints when the Saints go marching in. I love it. I love the song when the Saints go I just it
yeah,
gets I love it. I think if my friends could see me now, The Joker and Happy Mistake were really great songs. I'm curious to see how these songs fit into the movie. I think if I listen to the album a little bit more, um, I'll probably enjoy it more.
right.
Um, yeah, I didn't think it was horrible. I will say Lady Gaga has said that she is coming out with a pop album because
She
this
has.
album is particular to the movie.
Yeah.
Um, but I thought Chromatica was a pop album.
Mm, okay.
What how would somebody else describe it?
I don't know. I honestly can't even say that I've listened to too much of it, to be
Mm.
honest, to really, yeah. That's the one with the Ariana Grande song, right? Is it?
Excuse me? You
Is it?
haven't really, yes, you haven't really listened to
Oh, then no, I
Chromatica?
haven't. No. Because I think that was one of her lead singles with it. It turned me off of the album. Yeah.
You don't like Rain on Me? You are the
No.
biggest Ariana Grande hater I have ever met in my entire life.
I'm not. I'm gonna go
You
see
are.
Wicked.
Uh, and you're
I
gonna
mean,
s- and you're gonna sour through the entire thing.
no, I want to enjoy Wicked. Wicked is one of my favorite musicals. I want to go in there and have a great time.
Oh my God. What? I think Chromatica is her best album.
I'm gonna say I'm gonna say
Joanne.
an
Yeah, you're so weird. I
I love
no Brand.
Joanne,
Listen,
man.
I think Joanne is a fantastic album. I think people did not give it enough credit, but
I
like,
agree. And you
what?
know what? I think Joanne is the most heart she gave us in music. Like you could tell, like press tour, everything that came with that album, like she really was like, "Here's my heart," and people were like, "Anyway, let's move on. I don't like this country shit."
I just can't believe that you haven't listened to Chromatica.
I've heard it, but like I couldn't name other than that song, I couldn't name another song on that album.
Okay, we need to change the subject. Um, are you gonna watch the Joker film?
Yeah, I'm not going out of my way to if I find a space in the schedule these next couple. Is it already out?
I don't think so.
Okay, well, when I get back from Seattle, then yeah, I'll go watch it. I mean, I love it, Lady Gaga. I love her. So yes, I will go and see the movie. Joaquin Phoenix, though, why are we still employing that man? Did you know that that movie, that gay movie that he got out of? That's not the first time he's done something like that, which I was unaware of. But he's done this before where he like commits to a movie and then he leaves it right before it starts filming. Nasty, privileged behavior.
Hmm.
Adrian can no longer even look at me.
I just don't I think Chromatica is an excellent album. And the fact that
I-
you didn't listen to it because of Ariana
no,
Grande,
no, no.
no,
First of all, that's not even what I said, and now you're
you
putting words in
said
my
that
mouth.
single turned you off.
Right? I didn't say it made me not listen to it. I listened to it. I listened to it. I couldn't name another song from it, but
How
I
about you
listened
tell
to
us
it.
how you feel about Blackpink?
I don't mind Blackpink. I have a couple of their songs on shuffle
Mm,
on my playlist. I will listen to Chromatica again. How about that? Next episode, I will come back with full thoughts on Chromatica. How about that?
okay. Okay.
Okay,
If you say
great.
so.
Okay,
Okay. Okay. Lady Gaga, come on the pod. We have a
come on the
lot
pod.
to discuss.
Clearly.
Next up on the pop culture pop up, Sean P. Diddy Combs has
Hmm.
been arrested. I think he is still in custody.
Yeah, God
Um,
denied bail multiple times.
yeah. A lot is coming out.
Oh, so much.
We don't have all the facts, but
No.
obviously there's the things that people talk about, like the
Yeah.
baby oil, the thousand containers of baby oil found in his home. Um, there is the freak. I forget what they call it. With the freak nights, freak outs. I forget what they call them.
Oh, uh-huh, uh-huh,
But his
uh-huh.
orgy parties. In addition to the many accounts of abuse that that people are coming out with. Um, I have found this. I have found P Diddy. That story will continue to go. I'm sure we'll continue to talk about it. But what I wanted to talk about today the is what I see on Twitter. I think that there is, and I'm getting a lot of this content there's a lot of people in the world on Twitter who are writing whatever they want. And I think it is absolutely nuts and insane. I
I have thought
think
this too. Yes.
I think tying Beyonce to the deaths of Michael Jackson and Tupac is
I haven't seen that.
insane. I think that I I I think a lot of the conversation around Justin Bieber is very unfortunate because we don't like that. That is not something that is in the indictment. And I think people need to be very, very careful about that because we actually don't know what has happened. And that is all nothing. As of now, that is nothing but a conspiracy theory.
Yeah,
um I think it's very dangerous. I think it's very sad for Justin. um and I don't know, it's so tremendously weird and scary that people are just getting on the internet and saying, basically making up stories, which is, I think, dangerous when you're dealing with somebody who is actually committing crimes. And we need to be very accurate and and thoughtful about describing the crimes that he has committed,
hmm,
because this man needs to spend the rest of his life in jail, but we also need to be accurate about the reasons why he is in jail. And
yeah.
so I think it just is very, it's just wild. It's absolutely wild and ludicrous what is happening.
I agree. I had this thought recently because there's been many women coming out, like, I went to Diddy's parties and blah 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 blah. And here's a thing I think we need to be aware of, right? If we're going to take this seriously. And I'm going to try to say this as delicately as I can because I know that it sounds a little bit harsh, but there is a big difference between the women that were coerced and forced to do things and women that were sex workers and invited to go to these parties to do whatever they decided to do. There's a difference. And I do think that there was two kinds of people, not just women, but two kinds of people that were attending those parties. There was people that were forced to be there and do things that they didn't want to do, and there were people that decided to go because they got invited and maybe they were sex workers and they were offered some money and they chose. I can understand how it's a delicate line to thread, but there is a difference. And I think grouping them all together takes away from the real victims that obviously went through something horrendous. I also think it does a disservice to everyone's posting pictures of every single Diddy party now.
I
There's a very clear difference between like use the two brain cells, rub them together, and like realize that there is a difference between parties that this man was having because he's a millionaire and he can, and he had tons of famous friends, and parties where he was coercing and forcing women to do like there is a difference. And if you can't understand that, then you again are doing a disservice to the entire case because now you're, Leo, and I'm not saying that they didn't, right? If the evidence shows that Leo and everybody else that's been in these pictures, George Clooney and Julia Roberts and stuff, like yes, obviously. Yes, bring it to the forefront. But I think right now, with zero actual clear information out to confirm that these celebrities were a part of this situation, putting these pictures out there and just saying, look, dumb people are dumb people. You
mm,
tell them, look, Leo was at their parties. Now they're telling everybody at their workspace, did you know that Leo DiCaprio was at these Diddy parties doing discussing things to women? We don't know. And if we do, I will be the first one to be like, these people are disgusting, no matter who they are. But I do think the internet has it's gotten out of hand with the level of gotcha that they're trying to do to other celebrities. It's not doing what you guys think it's doing. If anything, it's taking away from the actual very real situation because now the women that were brave enough to come forward are not being discussed. The people that are being discussed is these people, the people in these pictures. It's
Mhm.
ridiculous. It's ridiculous, and I do think that I've seen a couple of sex workers that are sex workers, are known sex workers, posting about the fact that I went to these parties and they were wild. You're doing, how about don't say it? Like, why does your voice need to be you clear, I mean, there's a difference between what you chose to go there and do, whatever that was, whether it was just attend or whatever, and these women that were drugged and forced to do things that they didn't want to do. That's the clear difference. These women didn't want to be there and they didn't want to do the things they were doing. And people, right? Because now there's a lot of speculation about whether, there was different sexual preferences with Diddy and whatever it is, whatever. So I just think that the internet is doing a major disservice to this case, and a lot of people are using it as a gotcha to celebrities. It's not doing what you guys think that it's doing. If anything, it's dimming the light of the victims that were brave enough to come forward.
It's very weird behavior, and I only have two people to
Yeah.
blame, and only
Tell
two
me.
people will ruin this society:
Tell
Donald
me.
Trump and Elon Musk. I
Yeah.
just, I think it's so insane
Yeah.
um, that people literally are just making up stories, and like you think that all of these celebrities that were at his parties were also that he wasn't inviting these people to these for the most part like these orgy parties like it just doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense to me why somebody could be so stupid to just write whatever they want. Anyways,
I just want to say that men like Diddy get away with things because they get really good at realizing who they can trust with the ridiculous and insane and illegal information. It's ridiculous for you guys to assume that every single celebrity was in on this secret because then Diddy's a very stupid man that would have gotten caught a very long time ago.
exactly. That exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Next up on the pop culture pop up, Chappell Roan has been in the in the news a lot
Yeah.
for multiple reasons. She has told fans to leave her alone if they see her in public. She's yelled at paparazzi to, I forget exactly what she said at the VMAs.
You shut the fuck up.
You shut the fuck up. And she's also been criticized for her non endorsement of Kamala Harris to the point where she basically had to come on and say, I'm voting for Kamala Harris.
But I'm not going to
Um,
tell you to vote for Kamala Harris.
right. And so here we are, a new age of a pop star. Julie, what are your thoughts? Do you think this is going to help or hurt her career?
I think that when she canceled two shows. Did you hear that?
Hmm.
She
Yeah.
canceled two shows because of her mental health, and
Hmm.
she has to focus on that for a little bit because of all the attacks that she's been getting. I think that when you come out into the scene and you are an unapologetic, some may say difficult personality, however you want to take that, right? She's a little rude sometimes. She's a little intense. She kind of just like unapologetically says every thought that's in her brain. In terms of the way she thinks the way that she deserves to be treated by her own standards. I think you run the risk, which could very well be a risk that you're willing to take, but you run the risk of people losing empathy for you. And I think that's what's happened. I think a large portion of her audience or of the audience has lost empathy for her because she's so unapologetic, because she is so loud in her truth and so um so firm in her convictions, I think people have lost empathy for her. And so when she canceled shows, instead of think saying, this is just the conversations that I've seen, instead of people saying, look at what you guys have done to her, she's losing it. And you guys have to be kinder to these musicians, which is honestly often the narrative when it comes to celebrities citing mental health issues for anything. Instead, people are like, what the fuck do you mean? Get the fuck over it. I thought things didn't bother you. I thought you didn't care what people thought. Get up on that stage and you know what I mean? Like, I think people lose empathy for you when you are a woman that is unapologetically themselves and can sometimes, Chapel, I love you, a girl, I do. And maybe I'm a pushover, and that's fair. That is fair. But to me, she does come off as rude sometimes. She does. She does. And one thing is being like convicted in your existence. And another thing is just, and I get it. Why should you be kind to people that are being unkind to you? Fair, fair, fair. That's fair. I can admit that I'm an idiot that would be kind to someone being unkind to me. I can admit that. Like I totally, if people are screaming at me, like I'd probably just stand there. And she wouldn't. And that is honestly amazing. That's amazing. But now people seem to think that you're a rude human being. Um, and d- people don't have empathy for people that are rude. They don't. And so you can cite your mental health and you can say you're going through it and you can say that it all sucks, but no, people aren't going to care. They're not going to care the way they would if you were quieter and kinder and calmer. They just wouldn't. So, yeah.
I don't know if she's looking for empathy. Is she?
I don't think she is either. I don't think she is either. But I think when there is no empathy, it's just going to get worse for you in terms of what you're feeling from the audience. That was what she said in her, I've been receiving a lot and it's really, I like it, I'm going through it. Um, it's just not going to get easier because people don't have empathy for you. So,
Yeah. I think she's interesting in the sense that a lot of the greatest pop stars that we've seen have always been kind of like anti whatever, anti the culture at the time. And so I think I don't know how old she is exactly. This might be
it's
good
like
info to
early
have.
24 maybe.
Let's see. Um, because she's giving very Gen Z. She's 26
Yeah.
years old. Yeah.
Mm.
To me it's giving very Gen Z, like uh, everything about her is is very particular,
Hmm.
from what I know, is very very Gen Z. And so I was thinking about this the other day and I was like, to me it's no different than like Madonna, who was very kind of like, people were very like taken aback by her in a certain
Hmm.
type of way because she had no filter. She very clearly um uh, said what was on her mind and was very unapologetic about it. I'm not saying that Chappell Roan is anything like Madonna, but I think that in that sense of a pop star is what she's giving me. I may even say that it's slightly refreshing to kind of see
Sure.
somebody kind of be so like, fuck you.
Yeah.
Um, I do think that she should stop doing interviews. I think
1000%.
I think that if she doesn't want, like, she doesn't have to. Somebody must be telling her to do an interview, but
You're
like,
big enough, bestie.
yeah,
You don't need the press.
she doesn't have to.
Yeah.
So I find it interesting that she continues to do interviews. Um, I think what she, I think I think the whole thing about who she's voting for is again one of those things on the internet where people just won't shut the fuck
Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
Like, her criticisms of the politicians, I think is very valid. And I think is actually a feeling that a lot of people hold. And I think it's totally okay for her to not want to endorse a politician who is actively endorsing the genocide of people in Palestine. And so I think it's like, what do you want from her? You
Yeah.
know, like obviously, I do think that I do think that she should learn how to pronounce Kamala Harris's name, first of all. Chapel, let's do
Yeah.
that because now you're just making yourself look stupid. Okay.
Right. Right.
So you should definitely do that. Um, but I do think there's a small population of people, very small population of people who get on the internet and 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 say all of these crazy things. And that small population of people on the internet is so powerful because we
Yeah.
focus on them so much. And most of them don't even show their face on the internet. And it's like
Yeah.
the amount of people who are saying, oh, well, she's going to vote for Trump because she never said that she was, blah, 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 blah.
Hmm.
It's like, no, most people know how to use their brain. And most people
Right.
know if you read or listen to what she's saying, most people can understand what she's saying. But everybody is so quick to just go to the other opposite end of the spectrum and just be like, you're so and so. And it's just like, no, just learn how to
Yeah.
read. Oh, people are so frustrating. But I think I think that she'll stop doing interviews. I
Yeah.
think that she'll just start making music and putting out whatever and saying whatever she wants to say through her music,
Totally.
and this will be a moment in time in her career.
Right.
Um, I do think that there is something, if she wants to continue to have this, like she could continue to do interviews and continue to be kind of like this anti-pop star kind of thing. If that's what she wants to do. I don't
Then
think
she has to get thicker skin.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no.
She
And
has
I
to become aware that her divisive thoughts are gonna bring a lot of comments her way, and she kind of just has to roll with the punches.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's just the internet.
I mean, at the end of the day.
I mean, who are these people? I
Yeah.
don't know them. Anyways, did you see Kelly Clarkson cover Good Luck Babe with Miranda Lambert?
Yes.
Did you see Kelly Clarkson cover My Heart Will Go On?
Yes. Did you see
It's-
Colin Farrell on the Kelly Clarkson show?
No, I didn't. I didn't want the clip didn't come across my feed. Wait, this is different from the first time?
Yes, he's promoting
Uh,
the Penguin.
did you post the clip?
No.
I see everything you do. So if you don't post the clip, how am I gonna know?
Fair, fair, fair.
All right. That's gonna do it for the pop culture pop up. We'll be back next week with more pop culture chisme. Julie, do you have a Latinx spotlight for us?
I do. This past week, guys, if you were on our Instagram, that you know where I was. I was at Hola Mexico Film Festival, the premier destination in Los Angeles for Mexican cinema. I got to watch so many great, inspiring movies, guys. Here's the thing, you guys are always saying there's not enough representation. Where's our Latinos at? And then these things happen. And you know who I was sitting next to? White people. White people. Okay. There was a lot of Mexicans there, and Latinos there, I will admit, but I personally was sitting next to white and Asian people. So I need you guys to go out to these film festivals. It's like they had it at Regal Cinemas in LA Live, which I get it. You're thinking, who wants to drive in that area? And I agree. I agree, but I did it. I did it for Mexican cinema. Um, I'll tell you about a couple of movies that I saw. I saw Todo en Silencio, All in the Silence, which was my favorite movie of the film festival. It was one of the best dramatic films that I've ever seen. It's about this woman who is the daughter of a deaf woman in a relationship with a deaf woman, teaches sign language. And as you meet her in the first couple of days of meeting her in this movie, she starts realizing that she's losing her hearing. And it's a heartbreaking movie about grief and all of the stages of grief that you go through when you realize that you're losing something that you have existed with your entire life. And you would think, obviously, this woman in this space surrounded by deaf people, couldn't be that bad. But her grief is gut-wrenching. It's such a sad movie. And they got an award at one of the film festival, not at this one, but one of the previous ones that they had been to for sound design. And I 1000% think they deserve all of the awards for sound design because the way that they played with sound as the audience, you felt like you were losing your hearing. And the way that they would mute certain moments, you felt like you were losing your hearing. There's a very beautiful moment where she's out and about in a theater show and she realizes that she can no longer hear and she like power walks to her apartment, goes upstairs, puts one of her favorite records, which you've already seen her play earlier in the film. She puts on the record and she can't hear the music and she puts her hand up against the speaker so that she can feel it. It's the saddest scene. And I keep thinking about it. It's the saddest scene. And the way that it ends, it's so gut-wrenching. The director and the lead actress were both there. And the director says that everyone in this movie that played someone that was hearing impaired had uh, a hearing impediment, I believe is how you say it. Maybe they weren't playing the one that they actually had, but they did have something to do with hearing impairment. So representation through and through. They also had a lot of consultants in the hearing impaired community that came in and like assisted them in sign language and Spanish sign language to English sign language is different as well. So a really great film, Todo en Silencio. If it ever comes anywhere near a theater or a streaming service, I'll tell you all about it because it was one of the greatest films. I saw a documentary about women who clean public spaces in Mexico. So parks and metros and libraries and airports and the way that the companies take advantage of them. And it was a very sad movie as well. I saw a movie with Omar Chaparro. I mean, tons of films. Before every single film, they played sorry, they played a short by a student in a program that won a grant to be able to produce a short. And so you got to see a little short from a student and then you got to see the film and then you did a Q&A with the director. So it was a great week for films at the Regal Cinemas. And if it comes back, I hope that you guys go. It was a great time to go, I'm telling you. So inspiring. All the directors were there. And it's just great to see, well, that there's people still fighting for representation. I mean, sometimes it doesn't feel like it because we don't get to see much of it in mainstream, but there are people that are out here fighting for representation in Mexican spaces. And I think that's beautiful to see.
Our little movie queen.
Stop it.
Thanks, Julie.
Thank you.
Time for some azúcar. I'll go first. My azúcar this week is um my former roommates, Jaime and Ken, former. Just a small shout out to tell the world how much I appreciate them and how much I love them.
Oh,
And um, yeah, they wrote me the nicest note. The second, it was the day that I moved, my first night here, and I started crying the second I opened the envelope. I
oh,
hadn't even read it yet. Um, but they're just the nicest people, and I love them so much, and I will miss tremendously, tremendously living with them. And not just them, but Goose. I miss Goose so much.
the
The dog. I cannot wait to see Goose.
Oh my God.
Love me some Goose. And so, um, I just wanted to say thank you and how much I love and appreciate them. And it's always great when you can find um, incredible friendships
Good
um,
people.
that turn into family. And so,
Oh,
yeah, the end of an era,
the end of an era.
but the beginning of a new one.
Wow.
And so they move pretty soon. They haven't moved yet, but they'll be in their place soon. And so, yeah, anyways, that's my azúcar.
I love that.
Yes.
Oh, well, that's beautiful. Shout out to Jaime and Ken. That is gorgeous. My azúcar this week is I understand that I have a bias. I understand that my love for Colin Farrell often blinds me. But when I say that the first episode of The Penguin may possibly be one of the best premiere episodes of television in history, I mean that with my whole heart. It is such a good show. And I know what you're thinking. Silly. You're silly. You just love him. You can tell, look, one thing you can always say Colin Farrell did a great performance. The movie may not, it could be questionable, but the performance is always great. But one thing that you can always critique Colin Farrell in is the voice work. Because the Irish accent's always kind of just like lingering. You can always hear echoes of it. Not here. Not here. You can tell he did the work. You can tell he did the work, and like the voice work is phenomenal. The acting, of course, is great. Every single performance, every character that was introduced in this first episode, um, gave me the fucking creeps, but it was wonderful. Like very great premiere episode that sets up the story really, really good. For those of you that are Batman fans, just FYI, apparently this season is going to end where the next Batman movie is going to start. So if you're trying to keep up with the timeline of events in the Batman world, then obviously watch the show. It's really good. It's on Max every Sunday, 6 p.m. Pacific Eastern time, I believe, Pacific time. And just a great, great time, a great time that fills the void that our HBO shows have left us. So, and it had, I think, one of the largest premiere episodes of television since The Last of Us with 5.3 million viewers. I know stats now. That's how much I like The Penguin. So go and watch The Penguin. It's such a good show. You're gonna love it. I guarantee it. Adrian, if I'm gonna go and watch Chromatica, listen to Chromatica, I need you that by the next episode, look at me.
I'm looking at you.
You need to watch The Penguin by our next episode.
Okay. How long is the
It's an
episode?
hour.
Oh my God. Not even 40
Oh
minutes?
my God.
Okay.
You shall?
Yeah.
Okay, he said it. He said it, and we all heard it.
You're lucky I watched that Batman movie.
Yeah, it's a good movie.
Okay. Are
Okay.
they're gonna make another one with
Yeah.
Robert Pattinson?
Hmm.
Okay. Okay. All right. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Well, thank you, Julie.
Thank you.
Okay, season 6, episode 1 in the can,
We did
as
it.
they say here in Hollywood. All right. Thanks, Julie.
Thank you.
We've reached the end of the episode. Make sure that you follow us on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter at Yumi and Chisme. Make sure you visit www.yumiandchisme.com. Make sure that you send us fan mail. Yes, we're open to fan mail still and again. What have you been up to this summer? Would love to hear. Make sure that you do all the fun things you could do with this podcast on the internet, rate, review, leave us a review. That would be tremendous. And most importantly, share this with somebody that you love. And if you do all that, we'll be back next week with more Chisme. But until then, make sure you have lots of love, lots of peace, and most importantly, lots of Chisme in your life. Bye.
Bye.